We just took first place in a 5.0 PPA event with 44 teams. I'm going to show you the exact strategies we used, how you can overcome being headhunted, and the brand new unreleased Friday paddle that we dominated with.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember.
First match of the day. Always have a little bit of first match jitters in a tournament. It's important to get out there, get a good warm-up session in, and get yourself locked in for the tournament. So we played a couple guys, never met them before, but TJ and I were pretty locked in right off the bat this morning. As evidenced by this point, TJ chases down a ball, sick tweener, comes back up to get the reset, and then I'm ready with the backhand counter. We're vibing early. I'm not sure how much these guys have played together, but with a righty-lefty combo, that's usually great because you can protect middle, but if you don't know your partner super well, then you kind of wonder whose ball is middle, and so we attacked middle a lot in this match. We were trying to spread them out as much as possible with the dinks and then just attack in the middle as soon as there was a gap. So you can see those last 2 points were kind of that exact same pattern. Right here, just sick hands by TJ. Dude's got lightning hands. So we won game one pretty comfortably. I think it was 11-1 or 11-2. And then in game two, kind of the same thing, just trying to stay aggressive, trying to dictate the points, dinking well, creating space, creating some angles, and then attacking when we find the right ball. So TJ just making people look silly, man. He's suavecito. So we took care of business in the first match. One of the fun things about tournaments is you play against people that you don't normally get to play against. And oftentimes I see people go into tournaments and react to the people that they're playing. And what you want to do and focus on is just go in there and play to your strengths, play your game, play aggressive, and you set the tone of the match and you make them react to you. And the first two matches of the day, I felt like we did that super well. We just got in, played to our strengths. We knew that we were comfortable at the kitchen line. We knew that we were going to create angles. We were going to cover our spots, and we were going to get points that way. One of our strengths is just kind of some creative little speed ups here. So we were mixing in some off speed, looped one over his head there. TJ just attacking in difficult spots, kind of turning people into pretzels. And so once we got really settled into this match, that's when we started pulling a little more triggers that we probably normally wouldn't pull. So this match we ended up winning pretty comfortably. So on to match 3. This was the quarterfinals. And we had the good fortune of talking to a couple friends who had played these two guys earlier in the week. They let us know that Luke in the black shirt is a very aggressive player, and one of his favorite shots is to full send body bag right at your chest. And so, well, I kind of did the same thing to him right there. Heads up, Luke. And so we were kind of on our toes this match, ready for him to, like right there, just be ripping balls at us. I felt like that nature of aggressive play kind of upped the stakes in this game. This was also the best competition that we had faced to this point in the day. And so I think everybody was a little more locked in this match, and it created some additional emotion that you'll see later on in the match. But overall, it was a really fun match because, I mean, you just didn't know what you were going to get, and you had to stay on your toes. It kind of helped me stay a little more locked in the sense that I was ready, trying to be ready for anything. TJ and I tried to apply the same strategy and mindset that we had in our previous matches, just sticking to our strengths and not trying to change too much about our playing style to match the level of aggression that we were getting on the other side. And also, yeah, we're pretty limber. I think TJ and I could have done a little limbo after this. Game one was pretty back and forth, both teams trading points. And then towards the end of game one, I kind of had a bit of a meltdown here. I hit a return long, missed a counter, missed a block on a drive, missed another block, and handed them 3 free points. Game 2 didn't get off to a better start as I took one right in the dome, but similar theme to game 1, just trying to clean up some of the mistakes that we made. We tried to slow them down as much as possible and not give them angles to attack, because when they were attacking, they were getting points that way. This is an insane point right here. TJ with one of the best gets I've ever seen behind the back. We're digging. TJ thinks he can get this ball off the poach, and Luke made the right choice and went behind him, but that was a crazy point in the match. At this point in game 2, I think TJ and I both needed a little bit of fire under us. I was upset that I had cost us that first game and was missing balls I don't normally miss. And so this point was huge.
Let's go.
I think it's really important in tournaments when you get fired up, when you get good energy, ride that momentum. Keep playing aggressive and just let it take you to the next level. This next point is a great example of that. Clearly I had a lot of energy right now because I'm doing stuff that's a little unorthodox. TJ and I were really finding our groove in the match at this point. And one of the things I love about playing with TJ is he's consistent and he's also so creative. So he can create offense, he can play defense. At this point, he gets us back into it, and then we force a bad decision by Luke there to get another point. TJ pounding his chest because he kept us in the point, made the whole thing possible. Here we are at game point in game 2. Quick little hands battle, nice counter. Thank you very much. On to game 3. Now, one would have thought we would have carried that positive momentum into game 3, but we actually got off to a horrible start in game 3. We were down 0-5. So at this point, Luke hits a ball, pretty crafty speed up down the line, but TJ and I called it out immediately. We both saw it out. And after that call, things kind of unraveled for them. The next 4 points were uncharacteristic, unforced errors that we hadn't seen out of them all match. And after being down 0-5, we ended up making the side switch up 6-5. This is where the mental aspect of tournament play is so crucial. There's a lot of emotions to manage when you're playing a tournament. There's nerves, there's pressure, there's excitement, energy, and it's so important to just understand how you respond to those. Like if you need energy, then focus on getting energy. If you need to be positive, then be positive. In tournament play, I genuinely believe that the mental side of the game is more important than the physical side. And right now, we've side switched, and there's positive energy on our side and bad energy on the other side, as you can see. Now, I can't dog on him too much. He was a fantastic player. I just think his emotions got the best of him, especially in game 3. This is a really fun point. I had never actually seen somebody do this in any pickleball game. Luke just goes down to a knee, full Tebow, and wins the point solo. Coming down the stretch in game 3, it was still a very tight game. I think we only had a 1 or 2 point lead at this point, but I think both of us felt pretty confident that we were going to close this one out. We were getting to the kitchen well, where the hands were feeling lively. We got finger guns from TJ. Finger guns come out, you're in trouble there.
The paddle Scott and TJ are dominating with is the Friday Fever, which will be released to the public next Friday. This will be the only Gen 3 paddle on the market under $100. We have extremely limited inventory for this first drop, so if you want to increase your odds of getting one, join the early access list down below.
We got a bit of payback here with a little body bag, and then final point of game 3. Closing out the match, winning our quarterfinal match, and getting us to the semifinals. In the semifinals, we actually got to play 2 good friends of ours from back home, Gorka and Kyle, both guys that we're very familiar with. So it was fun to see them in the semifinals of a big tournament. Always want your friends to do well until you're on the other side of the net from them. They're obviously familiar with our game, and I had a feeling coming into the match that their goal was going to be to target me. They know that I am the weaker player between me and TJ, and I knew it was coming. And so early on in game 1, they did attack me quite a bit, and unfortunately, I started to kind of feel a little bit of pressure here. Left a couple really bad dinks in the net, and I started to sweat a little bit, I'm going to be honest. Due to some of my struggles, we dug ourselves a pretty big hole in game 1. Let me introduce you to a little place called the Zen Garden. When I used to play tournaments, timeouts always used to be kind of a pride thing for me. It's like, no, I don't want to take a timeout. I don't want to stop. I just want to keep playing. I just want to force this game down. But this tournament, I feel like timeouts were absolutely crucial because I had to mentally reset and refocus. And in this match, I think we were down like 1-9 or something in game 1. And we took a timeout, and after that, we had some really good points. You can see TJ trying to fire me up. I didn't think that we were going to necessarily come back and win that game, but I wanted to string together some good points to build confidence in myself. And I think TJ needed to see that from me as well. So we had a couple really good points at the end of game one. We ended up losing, I don't know, 11-2 or 11-3 or something, 4, Jake says. But ultimately, I felt confident heading into game two. We went to the bench after game one, and I vividly remember telling TJ, I'm on it now. Just that simple phrase, like for me and for him, I think reset us for games 2 and 3. We got off to a good start in game 2. You can see we're kind of back to our normal tricks, playing a little more confidently, and we got out to a decent little lead to start us in game 2, and that was exactly what we needed. If you remember a little bit ago, we had a video with Gorka in it, and one of the takeaways from that video was I did not dink cross court enough to his backhand. And in game 1, he was killing me with that, and I couldn't keep up. Game 2, my priority was making sure he knew that that was not an option. Like, if we were going to dink cross court, my forehand to his backhand, that I was going to win that battle. In game 2, I finally settled into that pattern, and we were able to create space and get the right speed ups when we needed them. TJ was really bringing the energy in game 2, and he knew that I needed it, and I love to see that from him. Anytime a normally stoic guy shows energy, it's great. So it was a really tight game in game 2, and we're at 9-9 here. And this point, I can't believe we even dug that ball, but at this point, TJ goes for a big full send bag at Gorka, misses it off the tape, and we're actually facing match point. So they're up 10-9, match point against us. I managed to block and survive one of Gorka's massive drives to get us the ball back. Here we are at 9-10 to get a little lucky on this point. It's a pretty good speed up from Gorka, but I managed to get my wrist in the way of the ball, and we win it to get us to 10-10-2. Huge spot to tie it in the match. We have flipped the script. It's 11-10-2 at this point, and trying to be a little more cautious on this because we really want to win this point. Don't want to do anything silly. Wait for the right moment, right ball to attack. Fortunately, I get a ball I can speed up, but TJ's ready for the counter in the middle, and we lock it up in game 2, force a pivotal game 3 in the semifinals. It's funny to look back on this tournament. In the quarterfinals and semifinals, we won pretty intense game 2s, and you'd think we have all the momentum in the world on our side for game 3. In the quarterfinals, we went down 0-5, and sure enough, in the semifinals, we go down 1-5 to start game 3. The Friday boys all have a saying, brick by brick. And at this point in the match, we were just trying to find some bricks. When you're trailing late in a game, you just try to take it 1 point at a time and one ball at a time. That last point's a great example. We were way out of position, at a big disadvantage, made them hit just one more ball, and we ended up winning the point. And boy, did we find some bricks before side switch. We were able to climb our way out of a pretty substantial hole, being down 1-5. Similar strategy to what you saw from us earlier in the day, just trying to be really patient, create the space, create the angles, and find the right ball to attack. Kyle and Gorka were also playing really good at this point in the match, and so everyone was kind of just playing their A game. We had some really fun points like this one right here with some good counters and speed ups. Let's go! We were able to string together a handful of points and went to the side switch up 6-5, and you know I had to spend a little time in the Zen Garden. While in the Zen Garden, I really tried to just breathe and just think about 1 point at a time, but once I got out on court, it was just impossible to contain the emotions. I was just so amped up at this point. Felt like I had overcome some bad vibes, and here we go. These were back-to-back points where I think TJ and I just felt invincible. Like this was our match. This was our game. We had dug ourselves out of a massive hole. We were not missing, and it was just our time. Even the net was loving on us. Set me up for a nice little forehand put away. Come on! Here we are, match point. TJ hits kind of an off-speed drive, and I don't know if that caught Gorka by surprise, but easy miss. And that is a game 3 match victory to send us to the finals. I don't know what that was. I don't normally behave that way. It is championship time, boys and girls. We're in the finals. We got 2 dads against 2 teenagers. We're playing Andre and Jace, 2 absolute studs. playing a ton of tournaments, playing a lot of pro pickleball too. And I know that they had cruised their way through this 5-0 bracket. So we knew it was going to take absolutely our best to get past these guys. It had been a really long day to this point, obviously physically and emotionally taxing, but I think this was the best that either of us had felt all day. I think nerves were completely gone at this point. We felt good physically. TJ looking spry as ever. Sorry, Jace. One focus of this match is trying to avoid hitting dead dinks. And when I say dead dinks, I mean a dink with no pace on it, too high, because if you give them a dead dink, they're going to attack it. They're very crafty with their speed ups, and they can make you look silly, which they did to me several times in this match. So when we got to the kitchen line, we wanted to be aggressive. We wanted to dictate the points, control the match, kind of like we already said, and not let them control it, because if that was going to happen, then we were going to be in bad shape. These kids were so good, though. This was such a fun match to play in. We just had so many good points because they have great hands. They're very athletic, and like just points like this, just points where you think it's going to be over and then it's not, and you have to hit 4 more balls to put the ball away. One unique thing about this tournament is we benefited from the fact that it was a progressive draw, meaning that the only pro matches going on were semifinals on championship court. And so anyone that wasn't on championship court was looking around for good pickleball and ended up watching us. And you know what? Even when things are good, hashtag get in the garden. Take time, breathe, focus. Game 1 was pretty close. Nobody really pulled ahead one way or the other. Just trying to stay consistent and stick with our strategy and make sure we were on top of their speed ups, but not in this case. I will say this, though. Shout out to all you dads out there. Here's a little tribute to dad athleticism, if that's what you want to call it. But either way, you can tell that we've changed some diapers. I mean, look at us go here. I get like a whole 4 inches off the ground. We were able to play some good defense, get the ball back. This is match point to close out, or sorry, not match point, game point to close out game 1. Unfortunate little bounce off the tape for Andre, but we take game 1. For once in this tournament, we finally took good momentum from a previous game and took it into the next game. Game 2, we started off really hot. We were just playing really confident, aggressive, clean pickleball, which is everything you could want in a tournament. We got out to a pretty early lead in game 2 here, kind of putting Andre and Jace on their heels a little bit. But these are 2 feisty young teenagers, and they were not going to go down without a fight. And sure enough, Jace and Andre started cooking, so we had to kind of weather that storm. This is a great point here, but there's just not much you can do when you got some real riz on that ball from Jace. I think we got up to a 7-3 lead in game 2, and then Andre and Jace started to string together some really good points here. There was an interesting sequence here where they were really kind of putting us on our heels, but they missed a couple thirds, which killed the momentum for them. And thank goodness, because had they kept going, I think we might have been in a worse spot in game 2. But TJ and I just tried to stay solid, tried to play our game, tried to stay clean. But some of their shots were just too good, like that one from Jace there. We didn't have a ton going for us at this point in the match, and so we were just really trying to stay positive and get the ball back, even though Jace and Andre were kind of having their way with us. I mean, this point is a great highlight of the athleticism and skill that these kids have. Just total scramble drill here, and then they get back to the kitchen, reset the point, and then some really quick hands from Jace on what I thought was a good speed up, but he was ready for it. Truly no one on this court was safe when Jace got on a heater, not even the ref. Right now in this match, I am just feeling like Jace and Andre are having their way with me and trying to hang in there as much as I can, but there's just not much you can do when Jace is pulling off stuff like this. So right now, our lead has pretty much evaporated. And after this brief hands exchange with Andre, they actually go up 8-7. So they pretty much rattled off 5 straight points. And you know what happens when your opponent rattles off 5 straight points? You go to the garden, which is precisely what TJ and I did to get ourselves in the right state of mind and finish off this match. We were able to get a side out. It's 8-8 right now. Andre, gotta give him crap for this. The early paddle tap, didn't think the ball was coming back over. Fortunately for us, it did. We settled into a nice point. This is late in the game. It's just so important to win these points. 8-8, huge for momentum, and was able to counter a ball from Andre to get us to 9-8. Absolutely crucial point for us. At 9-8 in game 2 of a championship match, TJ did something that I would not recommend you try at home. I mean, are you kidding me? To have the stones to pull that shot off at that point in the match, that was one of the coolest things I have ever seen on a pickleball court, especially given the situation. So that crazy shot by TJ led us to our first match point. Match points are always kind of fun because nobody wants to make the mistake. Everyone's being super cautious, and that was the truth here. And then TJ did something I also wouldn't recommend trying at home, a volley lob on match point. Afterwards, he said he glitched, but there you go. So we have our second match point, which I completely thought we had this in the bag. As soon as the ball got elevated and we were in a hands battle, I was ready to call it good, but they were able to stick in there and survive. Finally, we have our third attempt at match point, and I'm just going to let this one play out. And there it is, a gold medal in a 5.0 PPA tournament with 44 teams. We did it all with the new Friday Fever. A big hug with TJ, a big hug with the boys in denim, and we will see you next Friday.